Hello everybody and welcome to this yoga class. My name is Eli and here with me there is Patrick. We will start this yoga class standing at the top of our mat, bringing the feet slightly apart. You want to have more or less very soft knees and more an athletic stand. Take a moment to roll the shoulder blades back. And we will start with very light shaking. So when you already start to breathe, then exhale. And prepare gently to shake your body. Allow the movement to be very organic. Try to keep the heels onto the ground. Avoid jumping. It's a shake, it's not a jump. We want just to get rid of all this stickiness we might carry in our body. Moving slightly faster. Invitation to keep the arms soft, like wet noodles. And as soon as you feel that you're moving quite fast, start to slow down the movement progressively, organically, nothing rushed up. Take a moment to notice the knees stopping the bouncing and eventually staying up. Breathing in and out from the nostrils, observing the space between each and every inhalation, and as you stay here. A little bit of spinal waves, starting head leading. So again, we want to keep soft knees, hands side of the body, again, wet noodles. Imagine you have an imaginary wall in front of you and you want to touch it before with your forehead, with your nose, your chin, your chest, eventually rib cage, belly, hips, and you start to move in this fashion. We will take roughly 4 to 5 spinal waves. I like to imagine that if my spine was a piano, I would play all the keys, all the notes, all the buttons. Breathing in for the last one. Preparing for hip leading, so when you already push the hips towards that imaginary wall, rib cage, chest, chin and forehead, and then again chest move down, and we continue this wave arm motion, again articulating the full spine. Last two, last one. Take a moment here to stand, stay up, front of your mat, maybe hands together, Anjali Mudra, bringing the tension inward, setting an intention for your practice. Exhaling, folding down, bring the hands onto the ground, find a nice forward fold, maybe if it's the first one of today, bend the knees, keep it soft still. Sending the tailbone up, hands flat on mat if it's accessible for you. Exhaling, bending the knees, plant the feet back, bring the knees onto the ground, find your tabletop position. We move through our cat and cows, plant the hands down, tailbone reach back, belly drop, chest open. Imagine your arms are moving back, the chest is moving forward, the elbows are straight. Exhale, rounding the spine. Pressing through the hands, chin towards the chest, maybe gazing at your navel. Inhaling, sending the tailbone back and up, opening the chest forward. Exhale again, reverse the movement. Press through the hands. Last two. Inhale up. Open chest, move between the biceps. Exhale, round. Last one. Inhale, open the chest forward. Exhale, round. And eventually press through the hands very, very strong. And then neutralize the spine. Thread the needle, right arms reach towards the sky. Exhale under the left armpit, bringing the right elbow, right shoulder lightly onto the ground. Left arm can reach forward or towards your right hip press. If this one feels good, stay here. I will show sending the left foot towards my right hand, just to bring it a little bit more spice, bring more spice into the mix. Keep opening and rolling the left shoulder towards the sky. Last 2 breaths. Inhaling, bringing the knee where it came from. We unroll as we rolled in, left hand onto the front, press into the mat, send the right arm up. Open. Exhale, both hands on floor. We change. Inhale, left arm reach. Exhale, again. Finding the thread, the needle. Any variation is in your practice is more than welcome. Right arm can reach forward like Patrick is showing, or towards the hip crest. I will show again with the right foot reaching for the left hand. Stay where you are, where you feel is good and is sufficient. Exhaling, breathing in. Exhale out. Release, come back as you came in. Bring the knee under, right hand onto the floor. Press and lift and open. Exhale, both hands onto the floor. We take a moment, we tuck the toes and we sit back. And we bring also the pinky toe under. So we find a little bit of stretch in our feet, especially if you walk a lot, if you bike a lot, this one is an amazing exercise to do. And then we will do a little bit of wrist warm-up. So place the hands in front of your chest. Palms are facing forward. And then we took like these chain wrist warm-ups, opening the arms roughly 5 rounds, fingers towards the floor, stretch your elbows, bring the hands back in. Remember yourself that the movement is at the wrist, no flaring elbows, hands forward. Again, opening out. Sending the fingers towards the floor, stretching the elbows, bring it back in, feeling like a little bit of this electricity into your arms. Palms forward. Last one. Sending the fingers down, bring the hands back in. Palms forward. Bring the hands onto the floor, untuck your toes. We move on, stretching the front of our feet, sitting on top of our heels, so you can always slap the feet if it's a little bit too much to stay onto your toes. Placing the left hand onto the left knee or side of the left hip, grabbing the right knee with the right hand. Inhale, lift the right knee. Stretching the front of your foot. Exhale, release and change. Also here, this one, for us women, always in heels, fantastic working on the feet, but also if you're a runner or a hiker, fantastic working onto the feet. Exhale, release, bring the hands onto the ground, tuck your toes, find your downward facing dog, send the hips high. 3 waves into our downward facing dog. Inhale, wave forward, find your plank, breathe in. Exhale, knees on ground, send the tailbone up, send the hips up. Last 2, breathe in forward, press through the hands as you are into your plank, hovering the knees, send the tailbone up and find that arch. Last one. In, down, tailbone up. We keep gazing forward like if you're saying bye to the front of the mat. Inhaling, gazing between the thumbs, taking a big step forward or maybe just a couple of them. Moving towards the front of the space, find your forward fold. Inhale, bend the knees, start to come all the way up, arms are reaching towards the sky. Exhale, relax the hand side of the hips, take a moment. We'll move like through our studios, warming up our saf a bit. Any variation into your practice is more than welcome. Inhale, send the arms up, gaze up. Exhale, both hands on ground, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step back, find your plank position or hop or jump, whatever is in your practice. Exhale, bend the elbows side or ribcage, find your chaturanga, belly on floor, find your bhujangasana, press the feet up or up dog like Patrick is showing. Exhale, downward facing dog. 3 breaths here, strong and long breaths. Relax the neck, press through the hands, external rotate the shoulder, armpits looking towards each other. Inhale, gaze between the hands, either a big step forward or a hop. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come all the way up, arms are reaching towards the sky. Exhale, hand side of the hips. Inhale, sending the arms up, gaze up, baby palms together this time. Exhale, both hands on floor, plant the hands down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step or hop back into your plank position or into your chaturanga. Inhale, up dog, belly off the ground, pelvis off the ground. Exhale, downward facing dog. In and engaging between the hands, your way to move towards the front of the mat, either through a hop or a step. Exhaling, fall down. Inhaling, coming all the way up, reaching up through the spine. Exhale, hands side of the hips. Inhaling, sending the arms up. Exhale, both hands on floor. Inhaling, halfway lift. Exhale, step back your way. Either you hop, you jump, chaturanga. Up dog as you breathe in. Downward facing dog as you breathe out. Inhaling, sending the right leg up, bringing the left foot into the midline. Find your three-legged dog, squaring the right hip. Imagine your right hip, your pinky toe is looking down and your inner thigh is wrapping up. Exhale, bring the knee into the chest, move forward, step your right foot between the hands, left knee on floor. We find our Anjali Asana. Anjali Asana, we start by just working a little bit on our ankle. So I want to place both hands on top of my knees, interlace the fingers, and I want to push the knee beyond the line, almost that is drawn by my toes. So really shifting more weight into the front. You will notice that at a certain point you hit a kind of resistance. This is the space into your ankle, what is accessible for you today. Keep the tailbone slightly tucked under, opening the chest up, just pushing the knee forward. Exhaling, come back to neutral. Placing the hands on floor, and we start to work on our back leg. So we lift the left knee from floor. And imagine that you want to bring the left hip flexor onto the floor. So you drop the hip flexor down, 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 keeping the leg straight until you can't anymore, and then you eventually will bend the knee. And we will do just for other 2 times. Inhale. And again, hip flexor is dropping down, you can't anymore, then the knee is moving. Last one. Again, working on hip flexor, then eventually the knee is moving, and come up. Inhale, Anjali, arms are reaching up. Exhaling, right hand side of the right hip, left arm reach overhead. We find a lateral stretch. Pay attention to the front leg, keep bending to the front knee. Don't move away from there. I know temptation is super high to move away from here. Inhale, back up. Exhale, both hands on ground, find your half split. Now, we go maybe the right foot slightly forward, keep the hips on top of the knees, toes are curling back. Invitation is to send the chest forward. Imagine to create that cow spine you were doing before into your cat and cow, and walking your hands forward. Keeping the chest opening, looking at your toes, be amazed by your toes, they're 5. If you count them twice, they're 10. Inhaling back to forward, bend the right knee. Left hand under the left shoulder, catching the back foot with the right hand. You can always bring yourself onto an elbow, flat hand on floor. We will have 2 actually stretch here. First one, now Patrick will show you on the elbows, is kicking the foot into the hand. So in this way we are dropping the left hip flexor down. We keep breathing. And on the next inhalation you start to bring the heel towards the buttocks. So now you're stretching your quad. Very different sensation, most likely, for most of us. Speaking for myself, I guess. Exhaling, release, both hands on floor, step back, find your plank position. Inhaling, exhale, chaturanga down. Up dog as you breathe in. Exhale, downward facing dog. Starting with the other side, left leg reach up. Exhale, step the left foot with control between the hands. Bring the right knee onto the floor. Again, working on that ankle, interlace the fingers, pushing the left knee forward. Really creating space into the back hip flexor, but also into the front ankle. Breathing, control breath. Pushing back up, both hands onto the shoulder, touching your right toes. 3 bottom stretch, buttocks stretch actually, lifting the right knee. Exhale, hip flexor, move down to down, until you can't anymore, you drop the knee. Inhale, lift, same, drop, and then knee. Last one, we lift. And again, until the hip doesn't move that anymore, and then you drop the knee down. Coming up, both arms towards the sky, left hand side of the left hip, right arms reach overhead, and you find your lateral stretch. Maybe the fingers can touch the floor, maybe they can't. This is not your aim. Your aim is at open chest. Inhaling, both arms up, sending the hips back. Find your half split, toes towards the sky. Opening the chest forward, walking the hands towards the front. Finding this nice stretch. Inhale, bending the front knee, catching the back ankle. Now, left arm circle back. I will keep my hands under the shoulder. Patrick will keep showing with the elbow bend. So this is a variation. First, we kick the foot into the hand so that we find the hip flexor stretch. And then we bring the heel close to the buttocks. Then we stretch the quad. According to what is your activity in life, one might feel more comfortable than the other and vice versa. Exhale, release, both hands on ground. We step back, we find our plank position. Inhaling, exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Coming onto the ball of the foot, gazing between the hands, our way to move forward. So choose your way to step your feet between the hands, either through a hop. And relax. Inhaling, bending the knees, come all the way up, arms are reaching towards the sky. Exhale, hands in front of the heart, Samasthiti. Take a moment here for breathing and attention. Placing the hand side of the hips or on top of your hips, we step back with our right foot, roughly a meter apart, feet together like 10 tracks, sending the arms up. Interlace the fingers, prepare for a variation into your pyramid. Imagine that you're leading from the heart as you fold and the arms are keep engaging as they reach forward. Inhale, start to inch into the hips, find your 90-degree angle. Keep going into that way, squaring the right hip forward. Maybe the belly rests on top of the thigh. Maybe you can find a long stretch. Keep anchoring the feet, squeeze the legs into the midline. Keep it active. Inhale, squeeze and push the feet down so that you can come up. All the way up. We just pivot the feet towards the back of our mat, preparing for the same. Inhaling, lengthening through the shoulders. Exhale, inching at the hips, finding your 90-degree angle. Keep leading with the heart. That can be a beautiful lesson, actually. Keep leading with the heart. Heart reach forward, fingers almost brushing the floor, maybe even touching the ground, but hovering there. Inhale, press through the feet, come all the way up. Spin the feet parallel to the front part of the mat. Step forward. Exhale, hand side of the hips, take a moment. Relax the shoulder, one nice shoulder roll. We will conclude with some hip work, and then we can call it a day, I guess. Inhaling here. Exhale, step your right foot back. A little bit wider, preparing for Prasarita, so both feet spin to the short part of the mat, toes slightly in, heels slightly out. This time I want you to ask you to place the hands on top of the hips and with the thumbs kind of touching the hip crest. You want to squeeze the shoulder blades together. We will keep this position, so our goal today is like to fold in our Prasarita and keeping the shoulder squeezing together. Imagine you're holding like your favorite, I don't know, lollipop, and you don't want to drop it. Exhale, start to inch it to the hips. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze those shoulders. And again, fold all the way out. You will notice that it's way different than your regular one when you're rounding and whatever you're doing, maybe to reach the ground. Keep the shoulders squeezing, squeezing, and keep sending the tailbone up. Notice where the weight is. Keep it into the toes. Breathe. Pressing through the feet, gently come up. All the way up. We start to just spin the right foot slightly out, preparing for Skandasana. So the right foot points out. And we want to send the arms up. I like a little bit to be dramatic when I drop in my Skandasana. You can choose your way. Exhale, bend into the right knee, enter into your Skandasana, all the way back of the mat. So today we want to do two things. First, you have the option to keep the foot flat like I'm doing, or flexing the foot like Patrick is doing. Both are pretty valid, working on different aspects of the pose. But here I want you to ask to inch a little bit more, like bringing almost the right armpit in connection with your right knee, and sending maybe the left arm overhead. So you find this nice stretch. You can always place the hand on the side of your left hip, and finding space there. Now, you can stay here, or you can bring yourself back to center, and then keep that action of inching onto the side, and see if you can gently hover your left foot from the ground. I will show it, Patrick will stay in his Skandasana just for reference. When you hover, it's way more active, the sensation. You want really to lean onto the right side and lifting your left foot. So this one is super strong for your ankles. Exhale, place it down. Otherwise, from your Skandasana, everybody else push through the right foot, send the arms up, be dramatic, transition to the other side. Exhale, bend the left knee. Whew. Skandasana is coming there. It's coming for you, for us, for anybody that is taking this class. That's a kind of a rhyme. So from here, either toes are pointing up or you keep the foot flat down. You start to bring the left armpit in touch with your left knee. The reason here is to start to invite that lateral stretch. If you want, send the right arm overhead, maybe holding the opposite hip. It's just a very subtle sensation. It's just to observe what is going on. Bring it back to center. Patrick will stay there. I will try to float my right foot. To do so, I have to inch even more into my left leg, really compress into the left hip, and then eventually see if my right foot floats from the floor. And then I place it back down, maybe helping myself with the hands for this one, bringing myself back up, finding my prasarita. Hands onto the hips, inhale. Exhale, this time we grab the back of our ankles, lifting the chest. Exhale, fully fall down. Crown of the head, reach for the ground, maybe the nose, maybe the forehead. Hands onto the hips, inhale, come all the way up with control. Stepping towards the front of the mat. Inhale in. Take a moment, release the hand side of the hips. Observe. Inhaling, sending the arms towards the sky. Exhale, we fold all the way down. Grabbing the back of our ankles, finding some nice space. Inhaling, hands flat on ground. Last vinyasa, we step back, we jump back, we choose where we want to land, how we want to land. And then we find our up dog. Exhaling down, we're facing dog, push back. From here, bring the knees onto the ground. Find your puppy pose. Start gently walking the hands forward. Dropping the chest, maybe the forehead onto the floor, maybe the chin. Try to keep the knees on top of your hips. And think about bringing the curvature of your spine a little bit higher. So between the shoulder blades, imagine a warm hand pushing your chest down between your shoulder blades as you're here. Pressing through the elbows, finding our sphinx, move down, half frog. Indeed, today we target a little bit the legs, so that's what we're doing. We bend the right knee, keeping the left elbow under the left shoulder. We want to keep pressing the chest forward, catching the right foot, spinning maybe the heel of your wrist on top of your feet. Keep the chest opening forward, find your half frog. Exhale, release and change. And take a moment here. These one are incredible, I will say like quad stretch. Notice if you release your buttocks, maybe you can feel that the quads relax a little bit more. You find that wow moment where the quads is really releasing. Exhale, bring it down. We start by another half frog. So we open the right knee onto the side, finding a 90-degree angle into the knee, 90-degree angle into the foot. And we slide the right hand under the left armpit. Sending the left arm forward or even both hands onto the side. I prefer normally left arm forward so that I can feel the stretch outside of my right shoulder. Inhaling, coming back to center, sliding your right elbow down, bring both elbows together, legs in line, left foot moves out, find your half frog on that side, sliding the left hand under the right armpit, also here. Right arms can reach forward. It's like a soft shoulder stretch. Bring yourself back to center, sliding and releasing. Belly onto the ground, feet slightly apart, interlace the fingers behind the back, little bit of chest expansion, squeeze the shoulder blades together, knuckles away from your buttocks. Inhale, lift and float. For 3, 2, relax your face. And 1, release down. Hands under the shoulder, push the floor away, find your child pose. Toes together, knees apart, relax forehead down. You can stay here, or you can start to roll into your Shavasana. Taking a moment here to separate your feet wide, rolling onto the buttocks, sending the back onto the ground, opening the arms on side, palms up. Taking the moment for yourself in your Shavasana, really remind yourself that this is a moment purely for you. It's an essential part of your practice, so it should never be skipped. I want to thank you for being with us during the practice, reminding you to take enough time for yourself. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment, and maybe share this video with somebody that you love. We will be soon guiding you in the next class. Just stay tuned for the next one. Thank you again.